So today I wanted to talk about the books and the world around them. The first series that I'm working on is about the Sidhe, the traditional tales and Celtic mythology of the Fae. The stereotypes of pixies and bright and happy is so not the case when it comes to the original. Just like everything else Disney, it has very dark roots. And a lot of people look past that and they just see the bright, happy, shiny fairies, which do not exist in my world. The original idea for what would become pixies, which is pretty much the closest there is to that stereotype. The original basis was the look. I was kind of thinking something along the lines of the Pixies in the Labyrinth. You know, where Hogwarts picks one up and it bites him. Or Hoggle. Hoggle, not Hogwarts. That's what Jareth called him. They evolved, and now they look more like the Tooth Fairies in Hellboy, but also still very different. The second idea I had for them was, I was actually watching Doctor Who with the first Doctor, and I think it was the Marco Polo story where they had sandstorms. Something about singing sands. And that sparked the idea of having the pixies living in the ground, and then when sandstorms come, they attack everything, which kind of evolved into the Lightlands. And that is why the light people live underground. And having them forced to be underground, kind of their society and their looks changed quite a lot. And a lot of the basis for that, or not the basis, the ideas for the effects of that were taken from the H.G. Wells novel Time Machine, which a favorite. H.G. Wells in general, love him. He's a big inspiration. But yeah, I had the basic looks of them kind of inspired. Not really direct, but just inspired by the societies and it was Eloi were the ones above. The ones below starts with an M. I can't recall it right now, but yeah, the light are basically like albinos. And I've had a recent, when I was doing the world building for the light, I had an idea about them eating, because their diet mainly consists of the light fruit, which glows. I was thinking that they would have kind of like luminous skin since they're underground. But it'd be more like a so pale they glow. But then it was brought to my attention that might be a little too much like Twilight, which, I mean, can argue it's not the same thing, because they sparkle because they're supposed to be hard as diamonds. And yes, I read the books. Don't judge me. The real idea the idea eventually evolved into possibly having their skin give off a luminescent glow, maybe when exposed to the air or under their skin. So it would just be like their veins have a tint or glow to them. And that idea kind of developed into the other lands, like the fire would be the fire fruit, and they'd have more of a orangish reddish, kind of like a fiery. So it'd kind of be like the veins of a volcano. The water I hadn't really put much thought into because they don't have a specific plant. The Dark Kingdom has the dark fruit, which is more of a purplish. It's like a really deep plum. So it's almost black, but well, it's more. It's like that color. A little less red. The light have the electric daisies, which basically went extinct in the beginning of the books because Coleman took over the sky, and one of the first things he did was he shut down the lightning harvests, which was where they grew. So they kind of almost went extinct for a bit, and they started making a comeback between the second and third book, because yeah, it was when Corey took over for a little bit. Excuse me. But yeah, the portals were originally inspired by the Dark Tower series. I'm sorry, I just had a complete mind blank. In there's doorways and portals and all that, and there was a specific scene, I can't remember which book it was in. I think it was Wolves of Kala, where there's a hallway full of doors and they all lead into different worlds, and I absolutely loved that idea. And there's something similar in the capital. It's not quite the same thing. The actual portals leading into the human world are a lot closer to the anomalies in Primeval, visually. Each one is different, though. The fire one looks like an explosion. The earth one, I haven't. Fire one's really the only one I've actually put any detail into, because that's the one that gets used the most. Yeah, I haven't really done much with the world building with a lot of the ones, Earth and Fire basically have a majority of it done, because that's where a lot of my focus has been. Let's see, what else is there to cover? Okay, I don't want to think too long, and the video is already 10.5 minutes long, so if I think of anything else, or if there's any questions below, I will record another video, maybe later this month, maybe next month, I'm not sure, depending on when I have any ideas. An overall update, I have not written anything. I plan on writing today. I had a couple of ideas for the beginning of the Sky and Water ones. I might be starting those soon, skipping ahead. And then just coming back to 6 and 7 for the Fire, because I'm really struggling with starting those for some reason, even though they're completely plotted out. And actually 7's partially written. I think maybe it's because it has to do so much with she and her characters. Yeah, the Queen she, not the actual she. It's confusing, I know. But, yeah, we'll go into that another video. So, have a good day. See you next time.